Welcome back to another brand new episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
I literally thought there was a production meeting then, and I was about to start swearing. So,
That's right.
hi.
Hello. Hi. You want to check out the production meeting where we talk about all the behind-the-scenes stuff? That'll be coming out after this episode over exclusively patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers, and it gets blue,
That's
baby.
right. It's the $5 tier exclusive or higher. Tell your rich friends. You can hear how the sausage is made in the show, how we figure out what this next season's theme is going to be, and then 10 minutes before we're done with the episode, we find a way
Take a
better
left.
season.
hmm
So check out. That's just an evergreen thing. So I was gonna say check out
Yeah,
any. No, just check out the next one. It's gonna happen again.
yeah. It literally seems to happen every single time we record.
Yeah, yeah. So check that out. We are here to talk about the recently released, at time of recording, Deadpool and Wolverine, our
hmm
favorite duo buddy comedy,
Yep.
R-rated film, uh, the most profitable R-rated film of all time. Again, at time
At
of
this
recording.
at this point, probably.
Yeah, it appears it is. So,
Let me
um,
check.
okay. Uh, okay. So I have a before we get into
Oh yeah, by a mile, dude.
yeah. Before we get into the meat of the episode here,
hmm
I am one of the few rare humans on the earth that has not seen Logan.
Okay.
Should I see Logan before I see this movie?
Yes.
Okay. I thought there'd be more hemming and hawing of like, well, you don't really need.
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes.
Okay.
So
Is it because it's a good movie, or because it's a good movie
it's
and
both.
it ties into this one?
It's both. It
Gotcha.
is. I would say so. This is actually part of the conversation I wanted to have with you. Was
Okay.
you stepped away from the MCU a lot earlier than the general public did.
Oh yeah, which movie was my last one?
I don't even know if you've seen Age of Ultron.
I have seen Age of Ultron. I liked that one.
So
I
did
thought.
I.
Okay, what was after that? This is a test. Don't
Hold
look up a wiki. Put that Wikipedia down.
on. Okay. Age of Ultron.
Uh-huh.
That was everyone working together. So Winter Soldier was after.
Oh,
Not
I
Winter
saw that.
Soldier.
Of course.
Civil War was after that. Um,
Yes, I have seen that one.
have you? Have you really?
Was that the one where Spider-Man was in it for the
That's
first?
the one where
All right.
Spider-Man shows up for the
That's
first
still a
time.
cool scene. Can we talk? That's still a cool scene, man. Where
The
Spider-Man
airport
just
scene, yeah,
shows up.
100%. It's so good.
That's a
It's
great
so
one.
great. And Ant-Man's there too as
Yeah,
well for the
Paul
first
Rudd.
time, which is great.
Paul Rudd's great. I love him. Please don't be
Oh,
wronging Paul Rudd.
this reminds me of that scene in that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back. It's such a good line
It's very good.
because it pokes fun at both the people in the movie and also it pokes fun at us as watchers.
Yep.
And I don't care. I'm pulling up the Wikipedia because that's all I got.
That's right.
I know.
Well, this is where it starts to be. This TV show leads into this mini series,
Yes.
this animated.
This is why
Yeah.
I'm bringing this up, is
Yeah.
because the MCU, let's just say, got complicated. Okay, so Civil War, Doctor Strange.
The first one?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen that one. I liked that one too.
Guardians 2.
Yes.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man movies are so good. These are the
Spider-Man
ones where I think
Homecoming.
you might fall off. It's the
I-
first Spider-Man movie with what's-his-face in it.
I don't believe so.
That has one of my favorite reveals of all cinematic history, period, in it. It's so good.
Mm.
It's such a good reveal. Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok.
No.
Okay, so this is the time where you really fall off.
I have.
I know
Go
you
ahead.
dip your toes in occasionally because I'm pretty sure
Sure.
you've seen Black Panther, which is next
No.
on the list. Oh boy.
I have
Infinity
seen.
War?
No. That's when I dipped out. Was like right then when
So
it
phase
started.
2 is when
Right.
you dipped out essentially.
I have seen, like you said, I've dipped my toes in here and there. I have seen the third Spider-Man movie, the like multiverse Spider-Man one. Liked that a lot. That was great. I didn't see the one that I probably would
You
like,
haven't
which was
seen
the second
the
one.
first Spider-Man movie,
No, or the second one. I saw the third one though.
but you watched the one with the Okay,
Uh huh.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't seen 3.
Which one was the one with Ego the Living Planet? Was that 2?
That's 2.
Okay.
3 is the one with the gold people in it,
Nope,
who
didn't
show
see that.
briefly in 2.
See, I remember 2 specifically because I like Ego the Living Planet, and 2 has, I think,
Yeah, because you like the weirdest things. You
I
don't
really
like
do.
Deadpool because he's too funny, but
Yep.
you like the concept of a planet who is called Ego,
Uh-huh.
and you love Cable because he's too serious.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really good. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'm going to piss off a lot of people here, probably including Moon, has one of the worst written lines in cinema history, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the one about, like, he wasn't your father, but he was your daddy.
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
that's terrible. I
Yeah.
hate that line.
So many people are like, oh my god, it's
It
incredible.
it takes such a big thing away from a genuinely great heartfelt moment.
Yeah, 100%. Don't write
It's
in angry
ridiculous.
emails. I don't care. It's bad.
Okay, so you haven't seen pretty much any of Phase 3, but weirdly you've
Nope.
seen part of Phase 4, which is No Way Home, the Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
Black Widow.
Nope.
Honestly, in all honesty, you need to watch Black Widow, but not for Black Widow, for Black Widow's sister, Yelena.
Yeah,
That's the reason you watch Black Widow.
I feel like when they announced Black Widow, I was like, no, I'm not going to see it. And then when people started watching it, they were like, it's actually not that bad. But maybe not for reasons you think.
So Yelena just makes fun of everybody.
Perfect.
It's so good. Like Black Widow, you should watch, but not for Black Widow.
Yeah.
Purely for Yelena.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi,
Nope.
Eternals,
No.
Multiverse of Madness. That's the Doctor Strange movie.
No.
With Wanda.
I'm guaranteed I will love that movie. I haven't seen it.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
No.
Wakanda Forever.
Nope.
Now we're up to Phase 5.
There's 5 faces? Okay.
Dude, yeah, we're in Phase 6 now, dude.
There's 6 faces. Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
No.
That's Ant-Man movie.
No.
Guardians 3.
No.
The Marvels.
No, I do want to see that one, though. But no.
If you haven't seen Captain Marvel, you should really watch Captain Marvel and
That's
then
right,
watch
it's
The
a
Marvels.
sequel. I haven't seen either one of those.
Have you seen The Show?
WandaVision?
No, Kamala Khan's show. I can't remember what
that's
it's
right.
called.
They made one of those. I wanted to watch
So
that.
you haven't seen that show
because
either.
I like her a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Deadpool and Wolverine. You haven't seen that. We're
Right.
watching that right now.
Right.
Brave New World is the new Captain America movie coming out late this year. Then you've got Thunderbolts. That's the end of Phase 5.
Boy. Okay.
Phase 6 starts with the Fantastic Four, for the record.
Woof. Okay.
So you fell out on Phase 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
TV shows. What have you seen? And this is how complicated this movie is.
Sure.
Is because now we have to talk about the TV shows that you've seen.
So I have seen all of WandaVision and liked it.
Such a good show. That's such a good show.
I have seen half of the first season of Loki and dipped out. Not because it's bad. I was enjoying it. It was moving slower
Time-wise.
than I was in the mood for at the moment.
Okay.
I have a big question here that I feel like you are dancing around. I feel like I know I know one thing about one of the post-credits sequences here in this movie. Thanks Kotaku for saying, "Hey, look at this person who plays this character." Thanks, I really appreciate it. The movie was out for like 2 weeks.
Was that a certain... Spoiler alert for this point going forwards for Deadpool and Wolverine. Tell me what you're talking
It was
about.
Gambit. And they're
Okay.
like, look at this dude playing Gambit in the post-credit scene. I'm like, bro, look, just shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. But so that's literally the only thing I know about this movie.
So you haven't seen a trailer?
I might have seen that first trailer of them like turning the corner in front of like Lifefield's shoe store.
Yes, which is
Very
Chef's Kiss.
yes, very good.
Oh yeah, we did, because we watched that on a pre-show. I made you watch that on a
Yes,
pre-show.
that's true. So I watched at least that kind of first, and you saw some of the stuff on Twitter of like the two of them in a house, not being characters, being like, "Hey man, you want to do this movie?" Yeah,
Yes,
and like going back to the kitchen.
the
that sort
reveal
of,
trailer. Yes.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. But I haven't seen anything really otherwise.
So-
My prediction / fear about Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel the powers of Apollo surging through me. In the year of our baby Yoda 2024, this has to be a multiverse movie, right?
The reason I asked about the TV shows is because I specifically needed to know if you had seen Loki.
Is the TVA involved?
The TVA is involved.
Okay.
And I don't feel like that's a spoiler because it's literally in the trailers.
Okay. I like the TVA as a concept. I like the kind of timeline protection stuff that was in at least the first half of the first season of Loki. I don't mind multiverse stuff. Like I genuinely don't. But I feel like we're in the
the thing you're missing by not seeing the end of the first season of Loki is at the end of the first season, again, minor spoilers, and
Sure.
he's not going to remember
It's
this
fine.
if he goes back and watches it anyway.
I've probably gotten spoiled by this point anyway.
So who's the guy who was the bad guy and now has been kicked out because of potentially / allegedly being a wrong'un?
In movies, you're not really narrowing it down.
Yes, I know. It begins with a K. I'm pretty sure it begins with a K.
Yeah, he was playing Kang the Conqueror.
Thank you. Kang the Conqueror
Yeah.
is a key part of Loki season 1.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
He is running the TVA.
Oh, okay.
And it ends with him dying, being killed, or a version of him dying, and the timeline fracturing into the multiverse. So the holy timeline gets fractured, and that's where all of these different sprouts start coming off.
So I gotta watch Loki, or I gotta watch Logan, and then I gotta watch like 2 more episodes of Loki season 1.
Yes. That, I think season 1 ends with a banger, if I'm completely honest. Like, I adore the Loki TV show, but also because I think the people in it are genuinely fantastic actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael, whatever his face is, to the side.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. It's the Kevin Spacey problem all over again.
Yeah, right. So,
that's why I asked, is because I think that is important. Also, just for the listeners' edification here, Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show.
I didn't know that was a thing.
That is the post Avengers TV show where Bucky and Falcon start dealing with the whole what is it to be Captain America thing. You all should watch that. That's a good show. Okay. Also, it's got Melty Mask Face, the guy who's got his mask stuck in his face from Winter Soldier, is in it too.
Yeah, whatever that guy's name is.
What if?
No, but I've always wanted to watch that because I like the idea of an animated Marvel thing, and the what if kind of one-shots when we were growing up of Marvel was always like, what if Storm had adamantium? And it's like, yeah, that was cool. That was great.
What If Zombies is one of those episodes, so you should definitely watch the What If.
So, speaking of zombies, that was the end of my point I was making, which is I am at the point now with multiverse stuff where we were at in like the Xbox 360 era of games of like, oh, making a game with zombies in it, huh? How daring. How unique. How original. I'm like getting to that eye-rolling point with multiverse stuff of like, oh,
yes,
there's 4 different versions of this character in it, huh? Oh, it's a multi. Sure. Yep. Sounds great.
Ms. Marvel was the TV show, by the way, for Marvel. Kamala Khan.
I like Kamala Khan. She's cool. Stretchy.
Yes. It's such a good show.
Yeah.
And there's even a moment
too is great.
she's fantastic, and she's a giant dork, and she's a huge MCU fan. So like, she literally texts Kevin Feige in the middle of the night with like suggestions about what
Nice.
should happen in upcoming movies.
Yep.
Apparently, she is very annoying to everyone, and I adore her for it.
Who did they get to play her?
I wish I could remember off the top of my
I don't
head.
remember. I believe it's the actress from
Aman Vellali.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of somebody else. Somebody else. The woman they got to play America Chavez, I think, in the Marvel.
She's good too.
She was in the first season of the Babysitters Club TV show on Netflix, which, by the way, super underrated show. And she didn't come back for season 2 because she was going to be in MCU stuff. And they make a really great joke at the beginning of season 2 with the new actor of basically like, came back from summer vacation, I feel like a brand new woman. I was like,
I love
great.
that stuff. That's the when they pass it off in a line, that's my favorite thing.
Yep.
I've seen it 3 times now. I've seen that one you've got the example of.
Mm-hmm.
The war machine, whatever his name is, the other Iron Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's me, I'm here, let's just get over it kind of thing. That's a great line too.
Yep.
And in the new Winter Soldier movie, Harrison Ford plays the guy who died, who was in the Hulk movies,
Mm-hmm.
General What's His Face.
Yeah.
And Bucky says to him in the trailer, glad to see you. Still don't think I'll get used to the new look. And he says, lose the mustache or lose the election is what they told me. So
Great.
Yep.
Great.
One line, that's all it takes. Fantastic. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yes, the TVA are involved. To get back to the matter at hand.
Interesting. I'm not.
So now you know why you need to watch Logan. Is the key to this?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing to do. I think a lot of my interest of the TVA is the kind of retrofuturism stylings that they have with the TVA.
So cool. Like the design is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting, and I'm curious to see how far they take that in this movie, because I feel like if there's anything you can just go wild with, the most ridiculous, like there's 200 versions of Deadpool in a room with each other, I feel like Deadpool is the thing to just like take off the limiters and just be like, look man, how much is our CG budget? How many Deadpools are there? Put every single one of these in a scene with each other.
Oh, 100%. There is a montage in this that, spoiler alert, it's a Deadpool movie. There's going to be a montage. All there is a couple in this. One of them I know you will bust a gut laughing at. 100%. It will get you 100%.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to your reaction to that. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Wait, so if it's a multiverse movie, Vanessa's coming back, right?
Vanessa came back at the end of the last movie. He went and stopped the guy from killing her.
Oh yeah, that's right, with the cream cheese spreader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Forgot about that. Anyways, still back. Dies again, but doesn't at the same time.
Marina Baccarin is back again another Deadpool movie.
Man, she's good. Yeah.
Minor spoiler alert.
Okay.
Domino is not.
Bummer.
And it sucks.
Yeah, she was great.
Cable is not.
Okay.
And it sucks.
He's on to bigger, better things.
Yes.
You saw what happened in the other movies to him. He did it himself. No. Put on the gauntlet. Someone killed him.
I hate you so much.
Yeah. Other than that, like, I think the
So you're going in blind, like, for the record, you're
like,
going in like 100% blind.
The double-edged sword here is,
This is interesting to me because I got stuff spoiled for me. Like, I went to see this movie 4 days after it came out, and I had 4 major things spoiled for me.
Don't even get me started on the internet. Like, the number of people, like, live tweeting the movie while you're in it so they can be like the first of their friends and say like, can you believe who played Gwenpool? And it's like, you just spoiled like 4 things in one 50-character tweet. What are you doing?
Yep. It absolutely sucks. Like,
yeah,
I
it's
hate
just
it.
and like I'm not even on the internet that much anymore, and so much of it is just like,
Keep talking. I gotta let my cat out real quick.
sure, go ahead. I'm not even on the internet that much anymore, but so much of it is just this drive-by spoiling. It's not even the like, here's what happened at the end of the Harry Potter books. I'm gonna spoil it to make somebody mad. It's just like, hey,
it's not done with intention. It's
Right.
just done to be quote unquote first.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, it's so inescapable because like even if I don't, even if I didn't care about this movie or even if I was trying to avoid it, half of the time I like open up YouTube to watch a video while I'm eating lunch, and somebody's like, "Hey man, here's the ending of Deadpool," and it's just the world's biggest spoiler in the thumbnail. It's like, please.
So the worst
Please
part
stop.
for me is, and I don't know if the iPhone does this, but Google does this. Like
Mhm.
if I go to my browser,
Mm-hmm.
I disabled the one you can do from the home screen. But if I go to my browser and hit the plus button
Mm-hmm.
to open up a new tab,
Oh sure.
it's literally a For You feed.
Oh, of like news stories and videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so right now it's full of Linkin Park and Liverpool Football Club and AEW and the Minecraft movie and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But around the time a big movie comes out, you know what happens?
Here's the ending of things. Here's all the stuff
It's
you
full
missed.
of spoilers.
Yeah, here's the 15 Easter eggs you missed in this trailer. Also, the spoil. Yeah. Anyways, so I have probably gotten a handful of stuff spoiled for me already that I kind of don't know that I got spoiled for me, which is fine because a lot of that is like, if it's not willful, it's just like people talking to each other on the internet about this movie. I'm way less upset about that, of just like, oh, on Blue Sky I saw somebody's reply to somebody else of like, oh, I can't believe they got this person to be a cameo in this movie. That's fine. Like whatever. I don't, that's okay. But someone going out of their way to be a jerk about it is, I'm a lot less patient for. So you know, it is a fairly new movie. You know, we try not to date this show too much, but it's important that this is a new movie when this episode is coming out, and you know that's going to color some of our coverage here. But I'm excited because with a Deadpool movie, I don't know what it's going to be.
Literally, it's unpredictable.
Yeah, it could be any.
At no point did you say during the last episode, "Oh, they're going to do X-Force."
Right. And
at no point would you have said they're going to do X-Force for 10 minutes and then kill everybody.
Right. And like I could make a prediction here and be like, this is the movie where they just play it as a straight sequel to 310 to Yuma through the entire thing. It's like, okay, that is as likely to happen as a multiverse movie is. So yeah, kind of excited.
So, I mean,
to see
it's a combination of those things as well. It's literally, it's like, oh hey, by the way, it's a Deadpool movie, which means anything can happen.
Yep.
And it's a TVA movie, which means the multiverse is at, like, for all you know, this could be Deadpool Kills the Multiverse.
Sure.
Which is a legitimate graphic novel, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
And also, like, the sort of elephant in the room is Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine after an extended period of time off of him just being like, I'm
probably
getting older,
need to address that.
I'm tired. I don't want to put this suit back on. I got to have abs for this. No.
Yeah, so you haven't seen Logan. We've discussed
not
this.
yet. That's part of my homework. Yeah.
Are you going to watch Logan for this?
I probably should. Because
Logan, I think, would be a great episode for this show. Like,
oh, yeah.
Here is a question.
Moon's
Let me just look around and make sure no one's watching.
That's right. Secret time.
Is this actually a Logan episode?
Is this an episode inside an episode?
Yeah.
Episodeception.
Because Logan might be, in my opinion, the best comic book movie to ever exist. And that's a big statement.
Right. I would have to look at the spreadsheet, the aforementioned production meeting. I have to look at a spreadsheet where we have Logan, because I'm 99% sure we have
We're
it
never
in a
going to get
season.
to it, dude.
I
That's the
know.
problem. Because it's part of the
Yeah.
X-Men movies, which we've seen all of the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
This is
true.
the one outstanding thing that we haven't seen. Is this secretly, are we about to change this from Deadpool and Wolverine to a Logan movie? Because I'll be honest, we could do 2 hours on Logan.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It's decision time, and it's all up to you, dude. Because I don't mind. I'm good, because we do have Logan in that spreadsheet, but we're never going to get to it, because it's always going to be a one-off. It's always going to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem is I think you kind of need to have seen Logan for this, because they reference Logan in the last movie, but they do it in passing.
Yeah, and the question started bubbling up for me in the last movie of just like, oh, should I have seen Logan by this point? Like, is that kind of expected? And I feel like going into this one is like, well, Wolverine's back after dying. I should probably have seen the movie where he dies.
Hey, Boston, I think we have to make this a Logan episode. I think we have to alien quadrilogy this.
How about we float? This is suddenly swerved from. I'll call this Deadpool and Wolverine Part 1.
Yes. Okay.
Which this intro stays. Next part we will be talking about Logan.
I'm saying leave this whole intro in.
Oh, 100%.
I'm saying we just changed the title to season 31 episode 3 Logan, and then do season 31 episode 4 Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, so I think at the second part of this episode we'll talk about Logan and Loki's other episodes if I can fit it in. And then for the next episode we'll actually talk about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, and we'll just do a brand new intro based on you having now caught
We'll
up.
do something. Who knows? Who knows what the next 2 weeks will take us?
Welcome to Critical Misses, folks, where everything goes wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go watch Logan.
You need to change the cover art in the background. Do that really quick now while we're talking, so that the video people can get an update on this.
Logan movie.
I mean, I haven't seen Logan in a long time. A long time. I'm not joking when I said I think it might be my favorite comic book movie of all time. Like, I love the Avengers. I love the MCU as a whole. There are certain X-Men movies I think are genuinely incredible. First Class is probably the second best X-Men movie after X2, would be my opinion. Logan is obviously talking about it now is kind of weird. Logan is the farewell to one of the most well-known comic book characters of all time, played by one of the most well-known actors of that character of all time.
Yeah, and like, watching the first X-Men movie where he shows up, you're like, everybody is really good in this, but boy, Hugh Jackman kind of like nails this seemingly impossible character. Yeah. Also, for video watchers, hi Logan, welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the stream, Logan.
That's right.
Glad you could come in and interrupt everything in the middle of recording.
That's right.
Because the worst part is if Logan was a nothing movie, if Logan was a fine movie, if it was okay, I would be like, yeah, we can do 2 sentences on Logan at the start of
I watched Logan and it was fine. Part. Yeah.
I think Logan's better than 2 sentences, and I think if we try and do all Logan, 2 episodes of Loki, and Deadpool and Wolverine, I think we're looking at a 6-hour recording.
That's right. I'm not opposed to having another 5-star runtime, but we only have so many hours in a Sunday that we can record this stuff. So, I feel.
So, Boston, what do you know about Logan?
So here's the interesting thing. I'm not entirely sure because I don't know how much I've had spoiled for me In Logan, like, obviously he dies at the end.
Yes.
But other than that, all I've heard about this movie is, oh my god, Hugh Jackman. There's a kid wandering around with him for some reason. It's an incredible movie, not just an incredible comic book movie. And then, oh yeah, don't forget, he dies at the end and it's super sad.
So you're going into Logan blind too, essentially, is what I'm hearing here.
Shockingly, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I feel like whether Logan is one of those movies that is hard to spoil or not, I feel so much of it when it came out, people were like, you need to go see it. Like, I don't.
It was one of those movies where people didn't. Shockingly enough, despite what we just talked about with regards to the next,
right,
movie
I just put my soapbox away.
It was one of those movies where it's like, yeah, don't read, don't look, don't do nothing, don't see trailers, just go see.
If you've seen any movie that Wolverine has been in, you'll probably like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also, so Logan is technically a continuation of the X-Men universe from the Fox side of things. So
Right.
it is still tied in with the legacy of X1, 2, and 3, then First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. It's still tied in with all of that universe too.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Which did you?
I'm gonna have to hit Wikipedia up on some of those later ones because I've seen them. I don't remember anything.
Which ones specifically? Dark Phoenix? Because I haven't seen Dark Phoenix. I don't want to see Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse. I feel like I saw Apocalypse maybe.
Apocalypse is the one with Angel in it, who has the steel wings. He gets his regular wings replaced with steel wings.
Maybe I didn't see that.
And it's got the guy from Star Wars who's the best pilot on the world. I can't remember his name now.
Yep.
You know who I'm talking about.
John
He's
Boyega?
Apocalypse. No.
Oh,
the other one.
Poe, not Finn.
Yes, Poe Dameron
Right.
he's Apocalypse in that movie.
Oh, interesting.
Can't tell it's him because he doesn't get to act, but
Well,
it's him.
It is a Fox. It's a Fox X-Men movie, so you know. Okay, so all right, I'll skim some of those Wikipedia. We're not adding more movies on here. Also,
No.
we'll probably never do those movies on this show.
Yes, we've seen there isn't enough content there for us to do it. The ones I haven't,
Right.
the only one I haven't seen is Dark Phoenix, and I have zero interest in seeing Dark Phoenix.
Also, if I want to be like a superhero movie gremlin, we still have a couple of DCEU movies that I'll torture Moon with.
Hey. We have 4 phases of the MCU to go through if we're going to go down that
I meant
rabbit hole
the
too.
DCEU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will just go, you know what I feel
Oh, I know.
like?
Believe me, I'm looking
Yeah.
at that season in the spreadsheet thinking, when is he going to drop this on us? When is he just going to go, it's season 3 time, baby?
It's junk
and
food
drop it on
time,
us.
baby.
Junk being the key word.
That's right. That's right. So, like, but the thing is with those movies, know
what you're getting.
but with the at least 2 X-Men movies that I haven't seen, those were the storylines for X-Men for us when we were growing up. So I can probably read the Wikipedia articles and say like, oh yeah, okay, Apocalypse, yeah, okay, yeah, that. Everyone remembers Dark Phoenix because either you read in the comics or you saw it in the animated.
X3.
The animated. Now I have to clarify the original animated series. So
Not X-Men 92, but the X-Men that came out in 92.
That's right.
It's so confusing.
Yeah. So I'll pick up some of those going into Logan, but yeah, I don't know if I realized it until we just started talking about it now that this movie does have a sort of positive legacy of, I'm not even going to talk to you about it. I'm going to get a little misty. Just go watch the movie. You know, like just, oh, I just promised myself I wouldn't cry. Like that sort of.
Boy, let me tell you. That ain't happening. You're gonna cry, dude.
Oh,
I will
100%.
cry. I have tears in my eyes right now thinking about watching this movie. This is a movie I said I didn't want to watch again because it was so sad.
Yeah, 100%. So I think that's kind of interesting because I'm not sure. I know I'll enjoy it, as sad as it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be, but I'm not sure what else I know about it other than that, which is, now that we're talking about it, kind of exciting for a movie that's so huge and like it left such an indelible mark on
Oh
comic book
yes.
movies of like, yeah, you can kill one of these for real.
And it was an R-rated movie when it came out in
True.
2017 by
Right.
the by folks.
Yep.
So, I mean, you've got like a triple decker. You've got, and I'm going to use this phrase knowing what reaction it will garner from the certain fans. You have Old Man Logan. Like it or
Right.
not, this is Old Man Logan.
100%.
It's an R-rated movie, it's a comic book movie, and it's a Wolverine movie.
Right.
So just the R-rated in Wolverine was one of those things that everybody was screaming about from the very first X-Men movie.
Yep.
You can't have Wolverine in a movie and have it be a PG-13.
Right. I need
That's
to
just
see
not
him cutting
right.
peeps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Cuts a lot of peeps in this movie, I bet.
He cut some peeps, yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I can think about in this almost 40-minute meandering episode we've had so far.
Usually our intros are like 15, 20 minutes, and then a production meeting happens in the middle of it, and then we take a left turn, and now we're doing
Right.
2 intros instead of 1.
Yeah. I mean, we're apparently we're like contractually obligated every once in a while to do a 6-episode Alien quadrilogy. So it just
Yeah.
we'll just
Still one of my it's still one of my favorite moments, by the way.
Yep.
Is like the end of that where we do the quadrilogy and you're just like
I could keep going. We're going.
I
Alright.
kind of want to stay in this universe right now. It's like, okay.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches and see where the episodes take you. And this one is taking us into a totally different but actually still related movie and a little bit of a TV show that goes into. Normally we wouldn't do this homework.
No.
Normally it would be
it'd be
like,
who cares?
watch it on your own time or read the Wikipedia article. It doesn't really matter. But
I think the problem is like you got something that was on our list already in Logan, something that we were aware that we needed to cover at some point. And it's not very often that you get a pop culture icon retiring from a role, coming back for a role to do a sequel with his best years and years later.
Right.
It's
also
been 7 years since he played Logan.
we're gonna take a detour for to watch a really good movie in the middle of a season where we're watching movies that actually turned out to be better than expected. So not gonna pump the brakes on that one.
Yep.
Okay. Now that we have our 4-episode Deadpool season sorted, do you have anything else before we go watch this movie?
I cannot wait until this drops on people's timelines and they see season 31, episode 3, Logan. Like, it's just gonna be.
I really wish, if there was only one thing I could change, I really wish I could title this season 31, episode 3, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then just halfway through the title changes.
Have it change the title in the middle of it? Yeah.
Really wish I could do. Technology does not allow me to troll people like that, but that would be incredible. But writing.
Hey, if you do a double take when you see that, please let us know that we actually got you with the double take. Thank you very much.
And writing the episode description for this one is going to be really good. Of just like, hey, we're watching, the third Deadpool and Wolverine, the third Deadpool movie, Logan. Enjoy.
Yes.
All right. On that note, let's go watch the film.
What's the movie? I guess.
Welcome back, Moon. We've returned.
Hi.
We're back.
We have seen the show / movie.
Yeah, so let's start with Loki, because I think that'll be the shorter of the two here. Like every single time I do this, I stopped at literally minutes before it was going to get good. Yep. I watched the last full episode I watched was Lamentus, the like disastrously boring purple planet destroying episode.
Yes.
Yeah. I tapped out like 3 or 4 minutes into the next episode. literally 2 or 3 minutes before the thing, everything was about to get good.
Okay, so what? Refresh me because it's been a while. What? How is that? Where he gets stickied?
Yes. So like he gets sticky and he goes to like the void at the end of time, and
And
there's
meets
that.
Eliath.
Yeah, yeah. He meets he meets all the other Lokis, including the crocodile Loki.
Crocodile. Yep.
It's really good. I love the answer is like, why is he Loki? He's green. That's good enough.
Yep.
I also liked Mobius saying like, maybe he's actually just lying that he's a Loki. Oh, but boy, that would make him more of a Loki. And I was like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yep. You get how dumb this is. I like it.
It's the old am I a sociopath because I question if I'm a sociopath kind of riddle.
Right. Right. So, I think the thing that I was most surprised about with the end of Loki is how much they let, especially those last 2 episodes, kind of breathe and take their time. It's something we don't really see in a lot of Marvel stuff, and I don't think we even saw it in to this degree with WandaVision. But it was just a lot of like people sitting in that citadel at the end of time very quietly waiting for He Who Remains to just think for a minute. Like it was it was really, really interesting to have this kind of big presence in this character show up on screen and then not only be really weird but be kind of quiet at the same time, which I thought that was neat.
It's, in my opinion, it's the most disappointing thing of the reveal of him as a person because I think his performance, I forgot the guy's name again, the character's name,
Kang the Conqueror.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his performance as that character is genuinely incredible.
Yeah.
Like where he's bored and he's tired and he's had enough of it.
Well, he's flipping these books open and it's like, here's why I know how to do it. Literally the thing I'm saying right now is written down in this book. Like I know everything. But
he's like, look, here's what happens is you kill me, you take over, you kill me, you let it all slip, and we come back here at a different time.
Well, and I like the juxtaposition too of him, He Who Remains being bored, coinciding with him being absolutely terrified of all of the other versions of him. Like, it's not just like, yeah, a couple of them are cool, like this guy was neat, and this one over here wanted help. But the rest of them, you can't do this. Like, that was a really...
You're not prepared for the storm that's about to approach if the rest of me get free, essentially.
Yep. And
it's a very John Wick hype man moment, but John Wick is saying the speech.
right, exactly. Like, and it's you get some good kind of humanity out of Loki of just like, hey, Sylvie, like, we shouldn't. I know we want to kill him, and like we want to. Let's go run this joint, but maybe we shouldn't. Seems like a bad idea. Maybe that's not a thing we do. So interesting. I feel like it kind of left. It ended largely on a bit of not like a wet fart, because that's maybe more negative than what I'm thinking, but the final shot just being the Timekeeper's statue had turned into the Kang the Conqueror, He Who Remains statue.
Yes.
Being the last shot is a little bit of like, okay. Like, Mobius doesn't remember him. I think that's a pretty great, like, you changed everything here.
Yes.
And I think the end of there is sort of like, that's okay.
I to be honest, like, my favorite part of that was like, yeah, you've had this Marvel Cinematic Universe for a while, but now you've got, because of the purchases and the mergers and everything else that's happened, you've kind of got to start looping all of this other stuff into it.
Yeah.
Which ideally means multiverse. Like, that's the smart writer's way to do it, is to do it within a multiverse. And the fact that they used this as an excuse for being like, this is how it was what it was. Now it's fractured and splintered in all of these different ways. So now the multiverses
Right.
exist.
There's that
And it's
great
like,
shot where they're looking at the screen and like the sacred timeline is in the middle and there's just all the branches coming off of it.
even when they're at the castle at the end and they're looking at it and you can see it around them and
Yep.
it's doing it
Everything's
in the actual
fractured.
thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, glad I watched that. I'll probably watch season 2 at some point because
I still haven't seen season 2. I
and
really should, but I haven't.
a large part of it is Tom Hiddleston is just a really incredible actor. Like he's so
I don't
good.
think I can't think of anybody that could have got to play Loki better.
Yeah.
Like I just
Like
can't.
he gets how multifaceted I think that character can be and still make it interesting and still make it like controlled chaos. I think.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Like he's always up for improv too. Like have you seen Ragnarok?
No, but I know the like improv scene with them
Yes.
talking about them
Get
as
help.
kids.
Like specifically they're talking the get help scene as well where they're escaping from the planet and Thor's like, let's do get help. And he carries him like he's injured and then throws him at the people. That's 100% improv.
Yep.
Like they just came up with that on the day, and it's just
So
like,
good.
oh, that's such a good little thing.
Yeah. So glad I watched that. I know it'll lead into the fourth movie of our
Episode.
3-movie season. That will lead into whatever I can only assume what the beginning of the next movie will be based on the ending of this movie, but we will get there in the next episode.
Yes.
But the big meat of this episode, of course, is 2017's Logan, which is probably the most emotionally destroying movie I have seen in a really long time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So let's rewind a second.
Yeah.
You didn't know Patrick Stewart was in this, right?
I had no idea. Patrick Stewart and Stephen Merchant didn't know.
And I know you're a big fan of Stephen Merchant, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, Wheatley, he's great.
Yeah.
Also, really like him playing this character as someone who he's not a comedian. Like I feel like
No.
you know, it's always like, oh, Stephen Merchant, he's got that funny voice. Put him in something funny. Like it's really great to see him just be like he's this character that doesn't want to be alive anymore and doesn't want to do anything and hates his position and there's like nothing funny about his performance, which I think is so good. He's a great actor and like nobody just lets him be a good actor.
Yeah. So good.
Patrick Stewart as the not an octogenarian, thank you very much, in this movie.
I'm a nonagenarian.
Such a good line. Oh my god. God, what a performance. Like I had a hard time emotionally watching this movie for a number of reasons, and watching his performance as
it's brutal. It's so brutal.
Like an aged, like shutting down Xavier whose brain doesn't work anymore. That hits too close to home for me.
I was
personally
say, on a personal note, is this something you have experience with? Because I sure as hell do, and it was the person who was arguably responsible for me being me, my grandma.
Right.
She's the one who drilled certain things into me. I behave the way I behave because of the lessons she taught.
Right.
And having gone through that with her, I think a lot of the population can relate to it, and that makes it so much harder to watch.
It cuts too close to the bone, I think, in a way that I think they did that performance.
The new Chua Lupa from Taco Bell is meant to be a funny line, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's just like every single performance of his. The part that really got me was when they were leaving the casino after the attack and
And he's apologizing.
he's like tearfully apologizing, and I'm like, oh my god, it's breaking my heart. Like that, and the scene right before he dies is those two scenes are just like, guys, you have to
Yeah.
stop. Like, you have to stop drawing blood at some point. I'm empty here.
And the whole time you've got a broken Logan who is trying his best to protect him from the whole thing too.
Right, as he's very clearly dying.
Yep.
It's just, and I really have to give credit to the makeup and CG team for Hugh Jackman's stuff. Until I saw the side by side of like before makeup and CG and after, I would have had no idea. Like it's so, it looks, you could look at, like, I looked at that performance and I'm like, man, that dude's old. Like, when did he get so old? I didn't think he was that old. And looking at the before and after, I'm like, oh, he's not nearly that old. They killed it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's so good. The performances all around are great. I like Boyd Holbrook as Pierce, even though he's barely in the movie. He's just chasing the constant threat at the border. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing about this movie that I think is so unique.
Mm-hmm.
Is the danger is there, the threat is there, but it's never really on top of them until the end of the movie.
Right. Because, like, I really like his performance as Pierce because
he's not ha 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 ha. He's just matter of fact the whole time.
And like, I like a villain like that who's just like, he's so relaxed and casual, just like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get this kid, and I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna take my time about it. And
his first appearance in the back of the car, when he's just like, my, if it isn't the Wolverine, as I live and breathe.
It's so good.
He exudes villainy without actually saying anything too evil.
Right, which is interesting, is the counterpoint of Dr. Rice, where everything he's saying is evil, but he performs it in the, like, corporate way, where it's like,
don't hate me for this, scientists, but he performs it in the detached scientific manner.
Right, like he delivers. There's an almost throwaway line very late in this movie about, like,
the gene therapy line.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we put all the gene therapy stuff in the crops. That, that's why we haven't had any mutants in 25 years. And I'm like, wait,
hold on, you did what?
Hold on, and he's like, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Gotta kill you. And it's like, wait, wait, hold on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because I really like Pierce, and I think Dr. Rice is supposed to be a bigger villain because he's so detached from it, and obviously they're performing horrific experiments making these mutated children.
Yep.
But like, I think the performance from Pierce was too strong for me to be that scared of the other guy.
Yeah. And I think the funny thing about this movie for me is the counterpoints that it produces within itself. Like, its world building in the very opening scene is, we know who he is. He's asleep in his car, and his car's about to get wheels stolen by a bunch of thugs. And we get the R rating immediately. We might as well say.
Oh my god, this movie is so brutal. Like,
but it's only brutal in tiny little sections. Like, there's 3 scenes of brutality, maybe 4, and they're only all total. It's like 10 minutes of time.
Yeah,
total.
But they go all the way for each one. Like, the number of times the claws are like going through an entire person's skull. I'm like, oh, oof, okay. Like, that's the thing. I want, if they're going to lean all the way into it, I want them to lean all the way into it. Like, I want them to have that R rating. I want this tired, doesn't give a crap Wolverine to just, like, I don't care. He doesn't care about any of these people. Like,
I mean, there's also it also explains how he got this way. If he
Right.
has been doing this his entire life, we
Right.
just haven't seen it.
Mm.
But if he has been doing this his entire life,
For hundreds
to
of years.
it's insane to think that it wouldn't weigh down on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties into one of my favorite lines of this movie, which is right at the very end, but we'll get there because
Okay.
there's some stuff we need to approach as we do. But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's stark combat, hard brutality,
Yeah.
and then long shots, long
Yep.
patient shots of him doing the driving, the sunsets, the highways, him going in and out of America through the border, so
Mhm.
much that he knows the border guard by name.
Yep.
Like it takes its time, and then all of a sudden it just ramps up to like 5-10 minutes of hyper violence,
Right.
and then it slows way back down again.
I think that's the thing that I loved so much about this movie is it's like I kind of wish I hadn't seen this movie because we're never
It sets a bar,
well
we'll say.
we're never going to get another quiet introspective superhero movie. Like so much of this movie is just it's not Logan yelling at Laura. It's not them dealing with Xavier needs to use the bathroom. It's not dealing with the fallout of all of this stuff. It's just this dude needs to die. He's done. And
Yeah. And he also doesn't want to kill the other person who 1000%, and I hate to say it, needs to die.
right after the Westminster incident, Westchester incident,
Yes.
which
Which they talk about on the radio, but my word, if there's going to be something that's going to break you, it's probably going to be that.
I really love that they don't address it.
Don't
Like they
address it.
mention
Don't
it
explain
a
it.
handful of times. They never
Yes.
say like, "Well, here are the 7 X-Men that died," and here it's just
Mhm.
like, "No, man,
It's
we're
like
not
200
talking about it."
injured and 7 people dead.
Yeah, no, it was 600 injured and
Oh,
7.
600. Oh,
Yeah, because
Jesus.
400 was in the casino that they were in, and it
Mhm.
was I really love that they're not like I think in so many of these other superhero movies it would have been like, Logan would have carried a photo of all of the X-Men
The
with
team.
them crossed
Yeah.
out because Professor X killed them. And it's like we're not talking about it. It's not going to do anything good for us. We're not going to keep opening these wounds. It's not even an issue. And I cannot express my love enough about how much I love that they're just that happened in
They
the
let you
past
fill
and it
in the
was terrible.
blanks.
Yeah.
Like, on we know X did it. We know X. We know Charles did it.
Yep.
We know it's bad, and he doesn't remember for the longest time. He doesn't remember,
Right.
but we don't know exactly what happened.
Right.
And that's that right there in a nutshell. It's like that's why they're living in the middle of nowhere in Mexico.
Yep.
That's why there's 2 of them there, and only one of them can really stand up to the things he can do.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I just we haven't even talked about
Nope,
Laura.
we'll talk about her in a second.
Yeah.
In a second. I need to talk about him in the bathroom after the car gets shot up, where
Okay.
he has to physically force the bullets
Yeah,
out
where
of
he's, like,
himself, and
flexing
they
the
come out
bullets out of
so
himself.
slow.
Yeah.
It's
They do such a
it's good. It's great setup of he's old and he's sick.
yeah, like they do such a great job of saying like he's healing slower. And you could if you had watched the Wolverine, unlike me, you could say, well, because of the events of that movie, of course he's, healing slower. But I like how the movie goes out of its way to say, like, look, you're just being poisoned from the inside out. Like, the thing that made you the hero you were is the thing that is going to kill you.
Yep.
And that's just... And those... Like, him just not healing at all through the majority of the movie. You said, him pushing out those bullets and them not closing up. And having the juxtaposition of a villain we have here in a little bit is really interesting, saying, like, okay, yeah, you're old Wolverine, but what about this other one?
I mean, one of the things we probably should mention as well is, like, say whatever you want about Origins Wolverine or The Wolverine. The Wolverine, I think, is a fine movie. You haven't seen it, correct?
No, I read the Wikipedia article because I forgot that there was a movie between these two, and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
I've seen X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, he was fighting in the Civil War, right, in Vietnam. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a middle one. Yeah, right,
Yes.
the one where he went to Japan. Yeah, okay.
Uh, and he has someone in that who is basically a. She's from the Suicide Squad. She's the one that has the sword that captures people's souls.
Yeah.
I think it's Kimiko. I think
Mm-hmm.
is in that too, but
Mm-hmm.
as a different actor. This is a great, incredible line in that movie, which is directed by the same director, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. And in that movie, she says, "You're going to die with your heart in your hands."
Mm.
And it's twice as heartbreaking when you watch this movie
Right.
and get to the end of it and you realize that it's a multi-layered kind of meaning
Mm-hmm.
behind that phrase.
Yeah.
Um, oh, James Mangold, by the way, director of this.
Also
Um,
directed Night and Day, if I remember correctly.
Correct, he did. I was going to bring that up because I
Yeah.
needed to shout out that you really like Night and
Yep. A
Day, and
Critical
this is
Misses classic.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might. Shall we get to introducing? Introducing. There's okay.
Yes. Introducing.
It's not often that a movie gets to use the word introducing. So for those
True.
of you who don't know, when a movie has a credits list and it says introducing before that person's name, it's their first ever theatrical role.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time they've ever been in a film. Credit to The Mask for introducing Cameron Diaz,
Correct.
for example.
Right.
That is the most popular example I can think of off the top of my head.
Right.
But introducing Daphne Keane
Man.
as Laura.
/ X23.
Yep.
Which
How quickly did you click on
as
that?
as soon as the claws came out, because she has the two
Mhm.
claws, and I was like,
Because
oh,
they do a good job of hiding it as well at first. When
Right.
she does the assault on the guys after the watch, when they get to the
it's all like
the thing
teeth
in Mexico.
and claws and like 60 miles an hour, just
Flips and jumps and
using
so
her
much.
using her feet claws and like,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
She's
she's really good.
really fantastic action actor,
Yes.
we will say.
Yeah.
Apparently they had to recut a bunch of stuff because she was laughing too much while she was doing the flips, by the way.
Just having a blast.
100%. Like she was doing front flips, landing on people and laughing. So
That's great.
wrong kind of energy, I guess, in
Oh
that
my
kind of
God.
thing.
That's great.
But also one of the most heartbreaking performances, like, from an acting perspective too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Also,
she is incredible.
they also make the really, really smart move of not having her be this like young kid, like snarky, sarcastic, young versus old kind of thing of her like needling him the entire movie. It's not, and then that leads to the like one of the biggest comedic payoffs in this movie of like, you can talk. What happened to the last 2,000 miles? What do you mean you can talk?
Uh-huh.
Like it's just, he's so
He's so
pissed
annoying.
off at that moment. It's so good.
So apparently,
Mm-hmm.
and I did that scene specifically.
Mm-hmm.
During the audition, Daphne asked the director if she was allowed to improvise her lines,
Mm-hmm.
and he said yes. So that was the scene in question. And as soon as as soon as Hugh Jackman started talking, she started yelling in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
at him, and it roughly translates to, "Why would I talk? You call me stupid, you call me slow, you put me down, you do all this kind of stuff."
Right.
Which it's not in the subtitles for the movie, by the way. Like
Right.
none of that,
Which is really
none of the
good.
Spanish is translated. It's a very good choice.
Yep.
But that's how she responds: is why would I talk if all you're doing is doing all of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And he liked it so much that he basically wrote it into the scene so she could do it again on the actual filming
Right.
schedule. And it's like, okay, natural
That's
talent
great.
apparently coming through here.
Oh man. Yeah, I think her introduction as a mutant in this movie is really good because you get the whole. I have to give them so much credit for how they shot the undercover in the lab footage.
Mm-hmm.
They captured it so well that it really does look like she maybe has like her phone or a cheap camera strapped somewhere on her, and she's just trying to film as much as she can. And it helps so much for it to be so unsettling seeing all of this footage that I think if you just shot it normally it would be super cheesy of just like, look at all these kids, they're all
Yeah.
mutants, we're making them, woohoo. um
Hmm.
and like just getting the little glimpses of the like the screens of her area, I thought
Yes.
made it super super powerful for them to just be
Really
like,
well shot.
yeah,
It's way too high def for phones and whatever, but it is set in the future, so fine.
sure,
Understandably, maybe that you can get away with that. Like they get away with so much, but I'm fine with it because they do it so well.
yeah,
Like they, it's wonderfully done in a super like amateurish kind of style.
mm,
Whereas like you probably couldn't film all of this way, but
right,
you get away with it because I'm at that point I'm in. Like I'm
yeah,
already into the world, I'm into the story, I'm into the characters. Like, and part of this whole thing as well, especially with the kids, like they give the kids donation names
oh
on their
yeah,
paperwork.
yep,
James is Logan's, which was his name from the X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like
mm-hmm.
that was his name for the whole thing. And they also reference other X-Men too,
Mm-hmm.
and other mutants. But I think one of the most important things that this thing does is it knows there is 20 years of history, 30 years of history, going back all the way through to like 2001 with the original X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of history here. It doesn't point it out to you. Like you said, it doesn't like hold a sign up to your face and go, look, reference.
Remember this guy? It's just like,
It
yeah,
knows how important it is to these characters, to this story, to this universe, to this world.
right,
And we all know that this is the end. Like it's
yep.
Old Man Logan. We know that this is the end.
He's not getting a shot and getting better. Like this is
No. Oh,
he's
he's getting a shot, but he's
yeah,
not getting
yeah,
better.
it ain't making him better.
Like, and I love the fact that they don't hang all that out to dry and be like, here you go. Like, there's references in there, but none
Sure,
of them are like,
it doesn't have
deliberately
the like
pointed to your face.
Wolverine and his friends montage with like the sepia
Yes.
tone and the old Fox logo or something. Like it doesn't have any of that, which I think is good because it's a movie that needs to rely on its history, but it's so disinterested in wallowing in it to its strength.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
It's fantastic.
so the thing I really, really like about this movie is the comic book that Laura has.
Oh, it's so good.
And he's so angry that this comic book and Eden is the point of the adventure. And I love his description of like half of this stuff didn't even happen, and if it
Hmm.
did, they only got like 10% of it right. I love the idea that someone is writing a comic book about real world X-Men stuff and then just making it
Selling it.
bombastic to sell
Uh-huh.
copies of comics. And like him just being
And
so angry about it.
arguably to promote the Age of Mutants, to
Sure.
promote the heroes, to promote the positive things. Because if you're gonna go against Magneto and the Brotherhood, you're gonna need promotion of the good side. So this is a
Right.
really good thing in that context.
Mm-hmm.
But then once it's all said and done, and there's no new mutants in 25 years, and everything else has gone to hell,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of, I understandably, is mad at it because
Mm-hmm.
he has a conversation with Charles at some point in the movie where it's like, look, we weren't God's gift.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, we were God's mistake because there ain't no more of us.
Right.
Like,
Hasn't been any
the
of us in
gene pool
25 years.
corrected itself,
Right.
essentially. And it's like, it didn't correct itself, but we'll find that out later.
Right. Yeah, I I really love how much this movie isn't, there's no like wistful attitude about it. It's not Logan looking through the comic book pages and be like, it's not how it really happened, kid, but those were good days. Like he would burn this thing immediately if he could. He's just like, this is garbage. we weren't heroes. We weren't doing good stuff. None of us were good
Yeah.
people. Like,
I'm pretty sure there's a point where he literally has it open on a page with Cyclops on, and he starts talking about a-holes in spandex. It's like, okay,
it's so good.
okay, okay.
I hate Cyclops too, Logan.
Like that's pretty great. Like
Yeah.
I'll let you off with that. But like the build up to everything, like his reaction to that is fantastic. Like you don't like one of the things that like we talked about Charles's condition, you don't think about the long-term effects of that when you're in the moment, when you're watching the first X-Men movie or any of the X-Men movies. You don't think about the fact that Charles is an older gentleman and he has a super powerful brain.
Yeah, but he's got it under control. He got Cerebro. He's great. He has a mansion.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Pierce points out to Logan, like when he's trying to hunt down, he even says, I love the fact that they give it away before it's revealed, but he's like, I know you're keeping the cue ball down south. I know you are.
We know more than you think.
And he even says like, that guy's brain is a WMD. Like it is being classified as a WMD.
Yep.
And he's not wrong. It kind of is.
Well, I like that he sort of leans into like what he's got Alzheimer's, he's got ALS. You know, he's got something going on. He's a WMD. What are you gonna do about it? And I really love how they show the
seizure,
the effects of him having a seizure, especially when they're in that casino.
The casino, it's so scary.
Like just everybody, it took me a little while to realize that everybody was frozen, and you know because Logan is still, you know, cooking pretty.
He's still
pretty easily,
relatively good moving, yes.
Until he gets up into the hallway. And then
you see all of the people with the guns frozen. I do love the fact that one guy does the little side eye look to him. Is like, uh-oh. Like, he's looking into the room, and as he approaches, by using his claws in the walls, for the record.
It's so good watching him, like, crawl up that wall closer and closer. And I did really love that shot of that guy flicking his eyes, and then just be like, oh no, and then Logan goes by and then comes back and just blap, like right
gives him the old knuckles to the side of the head. You hear the schnick noise, and then his eyes roll up.
And then still seeing at the same time when he gets in the room that Laura can still move a little bit herself, and she is trying to help as much as she can. And the two of them finally do it, and just them just being like, you know, we have to go, and like we talked about, Xavier apologizing on his way out. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, and credit to Patrick Stewart, by the way. He lost a bunch of weight for this movie.
Oh, okay.
So he looked more thin and gaunt.
Yeah.
And every time you see him being picked up by Logan, that's literally Hugh Jackman picking up Patrick Stewart because he was so light.
It looked accurate. It definitely looked like, oh, this isn't a dummy or a body double or anything. So I think that
I hate the fact that Caliban gets captured as well.
Yeah,
but they're like, yeah, you used to do this for us. Why come on, help a brother out one more time.
Yeah, would you have a crisis of conscience? I know you didn't.
He does get one of the best lines in the movie, though. At the farmhouse, the beware the light moment. Which we should probably talk about the farmhouse, I guess. Oh, no.
It's like 30 things that happens in this farmhouse of the nicest family in
automatic
America.
Trucks, first and foremost.
Yep.
Which is just horrifying and scary because they literally... They sound a siren and they're like, danger, as they kill you, essentially. The horse moment is fantastic, where Charles calms down all the horses and then they just all move to the side.
My dad, Chuck.
Yes, as Laura, it's my dad, Chuck.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Yeah, we'll love a meal. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
we'll take that."
Of course, the nicest family in America, who you know is going to get murdered somehow.
Yep, 100%.
Especially after they do the water.
I was gonna say, you think it's gonna be the different thing that kills them all. You think it's gonna be the cowboy company guys who come and get them. But
the
nope,
company
it ain't
cops.
That. So the dinner table scene
Uh-huh.
was not written. they told everyone to just improv. Every single person at that table is improving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible improv from
I
everyone
also
around.
like the dad asking Logan, be like, "How long has she been like that?" And Logan's like what?
Like what?
And he goes mute, and he's like, "Oh, thank God." Since the beginning, yes.
Yes.
Just like, yeah, I could answer probably about 4 or 5 different questions about how she is, but yep, you picked the easy one, sure. Yep, she's mute. Yep.
Yeah, because she tries to eat the dinner with her food.
Yep.
And then she tries to take like 6 spoonfuls.
Yep, the last living mutant that anybody knows of.
And I love the fact that Logan, he doesn't shout her for it, but he's very stern in the, no, this is a fork.
That's right.
Eat with a fork. And
Yep.
no, you're done with the bowl of food. Give me the bowl of food.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But that whole thing where he's like, the kid suggests dropping out of school, and then Charles is like, why would you even think about that? And
That's
then
right.
Logan be like, careful now. Talking to a man who used to run a school over there.
Also, I like that Logan is like, oh, he did like a special needs school, and Xavier is like, oh yeah, and Logan was there too, and he was like, well, I mean, like,
I got kicked out a couple of times.
yeah,
I
like
wasn't the
that
best
wasn't
student.
It's not like that, like, it's just
Yeah. And
yeah.
like even Charles is like, yeah, he wasn't a good student. He wasn't. It's so good.
Yeah, and we get the like, so Xavier dying is unsatisfying in a way that I think is I really respect, because he doesn't get,
It's not a song and a dance.
and he doesn't get like a, it's so heartbreaking. I'm trying not to cry, I'm sorry.
Yes.
He gets
I have
this
tissues.
Yeah, he gets this moment of lucidity that is just so heartbreaking when
And he's not even telling it to the real Logan.
I know, and it's like it's acted so well, because it's so true to life of when you are trying to help people whose brains cannot function the way they used to. And it is heartbreaking in how this part is delivered, and him trying to show gratitude when he doesn't deserve it.
Let her sleep a few more hours longer. Like, just let her sleep. Like, this is a home. This is what a home feels like. This is. And then
it's been a nice day, even though I don't deserve it.
It's been the most perfect day that I've experienced in a long time. It's just like,
it's so heartbreaking. And then for other Wolverine, just be like, "Hi, by the way, dead."
X-24, by the way, is his official designation.
And like for him to just, like, it's a day at the office, just like, blap, he's dead. Anyways, let's grab the girl and let's leave. I really thought it was Liev Schreiber for a little bit there, like, because they weren't really ever showing his face. I was like, oh dang, nope, it's just also Hugh Jackman.
So Liev was supposed to be in this. He was supposed to be the owner of the casino.
Oh.
And he was going to help them.
That's great.
Rather than do any hindrance.
Right.
But schedules didn't align, and they couldn't really get everything. And the director ended up saying, I think it worked out better that way, because it's not a cameo fest. It's not pulling attention to these other things. It's just about these people.
Well, and you get to see Hugh Jackman without the makeup on, and like as a kind of like a full-fledged healthy Wolverine, and that's terrifying. Just
a cold Wolverine too, like a cold.
He gets half of his face knocked off and grows it back almost immediately. It's just like, oh my god, yeah, Wolverine was like, that was a scary dude for a really long time, man. And watching Logan barely being able to go toe-to-toe, even with Laura helping him sometimes.
Well, it's even the worst part, because like at the farmhouse, he kills everybody.
Yeah.
Like X-24, he just goes through the house, puts Laura in whatever those shackles are, which keep her like tied up so she can't do any claw thing. And like the whole family gets gone in.
Yep.
Everyone.
Even the dad dies after running X-24 over with his car and like getting him impaled on the whatever farm equipment that is. But like even he's just like, oh good, I got him. Blat, I'm dead too.
Yep.
Like just.
And then tries to kill real Wolverine and
Right.
fails because he's out of ammo.
Yep.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If someone brought that into my house, I would too.
Yep.
But I do like the fact of it. Well, like when they're talking about it, when like the company cops come around, they're in the van watching like his video feed and everything, and the Pierce is like, dude, he doesn't listen to us. He only listens to you, Doc. Like if you want him
Right.
to stop, you go up and
Yeah,
get him.
you go
We ain't
yell at
gonna
him.
be-
I'm
we
not
can't
doing
do
anything.
nothing.
Look at what he's doing right now. Jeez.
'Cause he's too busy getting revenge for these people shooting at him.
Yep.
Like, so there's still some Logan in him. Is
That's
all I'm
right.
gonna
That's
say.
right. That's right. Yeah, and we have the, like you said, I think this is where Caliban blows himself up.
Gets the beware the light line.
Right, which is pretty solid.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, this leads directly into burying Xavier.
Varian Charles.
What just a heartbreak.
It is worth saying, like, I think there's a really fantastic moment because Logan carries Charles to the truck and puts him in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
This whole time, Laura's been outside on the ground.
Yeah.
And then after the dad hits X-24 with the truck and Logan's trying to leave, he picks her up in the shackles,
Yes.
puts her in the car, and then she turns around to look behind and sees dead Charles and goes mad as hell.
Yeah, she loses it. Yeah.
Such a good moment.
And I really like that she doesn't calm down until he takes the shackles off of her, and then she immediately is just like, all right, I'm safer now at this point. But just such a heartbreaking burial scene. Like Xavier's last lines are about the boat. Like it just horribly heartbreaking. And then like I like that Logan goes back to the truck and
he can't get it started and then just wails on it.
he goes bananas on it with a shovel, and I'm just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, again,
I feel ya.
relatable, dude.
And then just like passes out in the middle of the street because he's just he's at the end. And
I love the fact that Laura steals the fisherman's jeep and puts him in it.
Yeah, because like it's really interesting because my first thought from that was like, oh, is she looking to maybe go with the fisherman guy and just say like, I'm gonna tell my sob story to him, let's go to Eden. But I like that she steals and drives the car, and I really love when he wakes up and that doctor is there. One of his first lines is like, man, I always wished I would be able to meet one of you. And I'm just like, oh my god. Oh,
yep.
Just
especially when you're looking and he's got the 3 claw marks like down his down his abdomen.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like,
he's not healing at all anymore. Like just oof. Yeah, and I like a lot of the
the doctor like is to explain to him like, something's killing you, dude. Like you need to go to a hospital.
I like Logan's
I
know, man.
I know, dude. Like we're good.
If there's anyone you need to save, it's yourself. I'm gonna go.
And like he whistles to Laura. He knows which car it is based on how horrendously it's parked.
Also, like you can't just take stuff. Like
exactly that was what I was gonna say. That's a great line where he's just like, you call it back.
It's so because like they got in trouble at that gas station when she just started to like take things she liked, and then I like Logan as he's leaving takes the car charger and a cigar and just walks out. Like that's really good.
And the fact that she hasn't taken off those sunglasses since, like even after Charles's death scene, like when they're driving away, it goes from her being angry and then it cuts to a different shot of them driving further down the road, and she's got the pink sunglasses, oversized pink sunglasses on.
That's really
just like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, I like the eventual decision that Logan makes of like, you know what? I'm gonna show you. That life has beaten me down, and I'm gonna show you how life
It's
is
a
gonna
good
beat you
fight
down.
between them.
Right,
It's a
like
great fight between them.
Eden
Where
doesn't
she,
exist. It can't
this
exist.
is
This is
the
makeup.
this is the you can talk scene as well.
So, what was the last 2,000 miles? You taught what the hell? Ah, it's so good.
And I like the fact that she just keeps talking back in Spanish, and he's just like, "I can't understand you. No comprende."
Yeah, that's so good. And I
Her
like,
repeating the mantra of her friends as
yeah,
well. Her friends' names.
what eventually like broke him down of just like, you know what, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to what is it, North Dakota, to see Eden. Everybody knows where we're going, even the bad guys. We're gonna go. Just show you there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And of course, there's something there.
Yep.
Which,
But he doesn't realize at first because he's literally doesn't have days left.
yeah,
He's done.
yeah,
He literally says to her, "I ain't gonna make it.
right,
Like, we ain't gonna get that far because I ain't gonna make it that far."
yeah,
And so there's a great moment here where he eventually passes out, and then she gets fed up of waiting, and then she rolls around to drive the car.
mm-hmm.
When she jumps in the driver's seat, I don't know if you noticed, but Logan's like lying across the seats like asleep, and she pushes one of his legs off and then sits on his other leg so she can see over the
I
steering
didn't even
wheel.
notice that. That's really good.
I didn't notice it until this time either, where
Oh,
it's like,
man.
oh, okay, that's how you can see over the steering wheel. That's a nice little touch.
I also like when she's like, you let me drive, and the look he gives her is just like, no, what? Absolutely no. What are you? No.
Turns out she's really good at it, in fact. Well,
Yeah.
she's okay at it for someone who's her age.
Yeah, and I like that the Eden turns out to be the place where all of
A
the
Firewatch tower?
yeah, the Firewatch Tower and all the kids are there from the experiment, and they're about to leave because the deadline is there. Really like how angry Logan is that the kids shave his beard into the Wolverine the Wolverine beard.
Yep.
So good.
Yep. And the fact that they're all giggling like crazy when they're doing it too. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, he gets it anyway.
Yeah. I really like that they don't focus too much on the individual kids. Like they're all there.
No.
The whole group of them is there. They obviously have powers. One looks like a shark or something. That doesn't matter. It's not about them. It's about
The only one who really gets any like screen time is Proctor, who's the leader. Who's the young boy.
right.
And he's the one who like gives him the juice, and he's like, "Don't take all of this at once."
Right. I also thought it was interesting that Logan immediately knew what that was. He's like, "You guys shouldn't. Are you using that? You should not be using this." And they're like, "Yeah, man, we're using a little bit to like keep you alive, dude.
Yep.
Like, we need to get across the border, and then we'll be safe. But like, we sort of need you to be here."
The nighttime fight between him and Laura is a good moment too, where he's like, where he snaps and he's like, "Bad things happen to people who I care about," and she responds with, "Well, I guess I'll be fine." Is like a dagger in the
that
heart.
line was just like, "Oh my god, my heart." Oh, ew. Yeah. I do really like that moment where the drones fly overhead and Logan is like, "Yep. Just couldn't get across the border. These kids couldn't listen to me yesterday when I told them they needed to leave. And now they're here."
Yep.
And most of the fighting also, number one, when he takes like the rest of the juice and he is sprinting through that forest.
So, this particular sequence has a special name. The production named it this. This is Logan's last run.
That's really good.
Hearing that phrase is heartbreaking.
And like just watching him at the
difference, like he's gasping, he's out of breath, he can't go on.
He can't walk.
Like, and then he does the old stabby in the neck trick.
Right.
And young Logan is back.
Tom Cruise is running through this forest all of a sudden. Like, it's so like
the the Wolverine yells
Oh,
are
like off in
such
the
well
distance,
timed.
that guttural scream is just. It's like hearing a lion. It's just like, nope, I gotta go. I know they're in the.
Yep.
I'm in the zoo, but I nope. But
Like
yeah,
the
just
kids do a good job fighting, but like their stuff is cute and interesting, but they're
right.
very clearly being rounded up.
Yeah,
But then Logan.
and it's so. The restraint from this movie is so powerful because you don't need to show him like raw like the juice just like starts flowing through him. It's
No,
just
you
all you
literally
need to
hear the
see him
roar in the
is
distance.
him sprinting without breathing hard, and you're like, oh no, okay,
Uh-huh.
oh boy, okay, here we go. And just brutal.
Yeah,
Just
it's such a good sequence because it's the Logan it's the Wolverine where it's this
right,
fluid target to target to target to target, lethal, lethal, lethal,
no
lethal.
hesitation.
And then he does the whole Logan pounce as well at
Oh
one
yeah,
point where he flies through the air to hit another person, and then yet another one of his roars,
yeah,
and that's when all the kids start to fight back. And it's such a good sequence, and it lasts way too short of a time
yeah.
because all of the kids have been caught, and Logan approaches like the camp thing, and Pierce is showing off. He's like, the green juice has run off on you.
Yeah, like look at you, man.
You're
You
all
can't even
done.
stand up anymore. It's running out,
Yeah,
huh?
you're all done. That's
Yep.
it. It's all over. And he tells Laura to go to her friends. She'll know the moment when.
Yeah.
It turns out the moment when is when he pulls out a revolver and shoots that scientist in the face.
Yep. Yep. Real good.
And that's when we get the whole reveal of like, yeah, we did gene therapy and all this other kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we put it
And
in the
now,
crops. No big deal.
yeah, we're making our own mutants
Yeah.
now. Like that's what we're doing
The
at this
best
moment
way
in
to
time.
control a mutant is to make one. And I was just like, oh boy. Okay.
Yep.
And then they
Then
drop
he
it.
get-
It's like 3 sentences, and it's just like there's
Yeah. Well,
not even like a
they drop it
musical
because he
stinger.
gets shot in the face.
So good. It's so good because again, that's not the story. The story is Logan's gonna die in the next 15 minutes in this movie. That like you're watching the train crash into the station.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
And
rough. And yeah, we got old Logan versus young Logan again.
Yep.
And
like
Laura saves all the kids essentially.
and the resurgence of the Logan talking about the adamantium bullet of like, yeah, thinking about killing myself with it, but now I don't know. Don't think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, which she has now because she took her off him in the watch collar.
Yeah, when he was passed out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, old versus young Logan again, and it is a brutal sequence. Like it's very
It's all
brutal.
out.
Claws under the armpit.
That was the one where it's like, oh no, oh, you didn't need to shoot that. Oh god, okay.
Yep. That's a rough one.
Yeah.
And yeah, X-24 takes Wolverine and impales him
Oh,
through a tree stump.
it's so rough. Haha, cha 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 cha.
And then promptly gets shot in the head by Laura.
Yep. Half of his head gets blown off.
Yep, with the adamantium bullet as well.
Right.
Is what it's with. So it's like, okay, hopefully that'll do it.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
I do like that Laura does cut Logan down.
down. Yes.
But both of them are like, we can't do anything about this one. Like this isn't.
Yep.
You're I'm not gonna pull you off of this one. That's that ain't happening.
The two lines
Uh-huh.
in this speech. Don't be what they made you, is one of my
heartbreaking.
favorites.
Yeah.
Because this is him being a mutant who was designed to be a weapon,
Right.
who has struggled with that throughout his entire life of being the good guy who does bad things, the bad guy who does bad things. Like
Yeah.
he has struggled with this his entire life, and him telling that to her, who is arguably his daughter,
Right.
Definitely shows the gene pool.
Yep.
And this is how it feels.
Oh, that wasn't
Now, is
good.
it death? Is it love? Is it
Right.
family? Is it all of the above? Like, oh,
That wasn't the part that got me. The part where Laura calls him daddy, and I'm just like,
yeah. Oh, that's the worst part, yes.
that was the part where I'm like, nope, I'm done. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the all of it, and all of it being over so quickly.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't revel in it. It doesn't have like long, here's a 5-minute song about the death of Logan. It's just like, no man, he's dead. He's
Yep.
finally stopped. Now you get to bury him. Like,
Yeah. The other kids come back and help.
yeah. I do like how the kids take down Pierce. It's like 8
Oh,
of
yeah.
them
All
are,
of them using the powers at
yeah, using their
once.
powers on him. That grass power was actually pretty cool. I'd like to see more of that. Um, but yeah, and then just like laying the cross down so it turns into an
Yeah,
X.
she does the speech from the movie
Right.
that
Which
they
is
watch
like
with Charles.
my only criticism of this movie. I think this movie is nearly flawless. My only small criticism of this movie is I wish there would have maybe been one more instance of her liking or remembering that speech, because I don't think it hits as hard. Maybe it's just me. It doesn't hit as hard as I think it could have. It's a very
Yeah.
emotional moment, but like it's not like
Could have shown them watching it at the farmhouse as well.
exactly like that her giving that scene should have ripped my heart out. And it didn't, and I don't think that's a detriment to the movie, but I feel like it could have crushed my soul even more.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, like everyone. I like the fact that everyone walks away and, like you said, she takes the cross and
Right.
drops it into the X. And you don't even get any resolution. You don't even know if they crossed the border safely. You don't know if
Nope.
they're in sanctuary, because that's not what the movie is about.
Nope. Logan's gone. And like I like that all the other kids are still in survival mode. They're like, "Look, stay here or
We
don't.
gotta go.
I don't care. We're leaving. Like we're not
Uh-huh.
going to run into any more of these guys. We're going." And it just shows them walking off in the background. And
Uh-huh.
I think that, and like you said, a movie's over.
Yep.
Logan's dead, dude. Like, and I like it. I like that. That's just the end of the story here.
Uh-huh.
This movie is incredible. I have nothing. I like, even that one criticism that I just had is really me wishing for it to inflict more emotional pain on me. But as the
Uh-huh.
movie is, it's nearly perfect, and it's I hate that we'll never see anything like this again.
Yeah.
There's
They,
no way.
it feels like these days they're never gonna take the time to do the slow shots like this again.
Right.
Like even like just something as simple as like the driving sequences.
Right.
You won't. It feels like we're never gonna see that kind of movie again, except in very rare circumstances. But the thing that sucks as well is this movie had 20 years of build up, 20 years of
Yeah.
history leading to this one moment, and it's just like, okay, kick me in the teeth, I guess. Like, don't get me wrong, Avengers was incredible for what it was, which is the culmination of like 4 or 5 different movies all tied together to be this one super movie. And I think it rocked all the way up through to Endgame Part 2. Or yes, whichever one it is that the thing happens where they reverse the snap.
Right.
Whichever one that is, I think it was amazing all the way through till that point. But even that moment, a lot of that stuff I think is so tied into this, where it's like you don't get that history, you don't get the one character being so important for so long.
And none of these movies are about. They're not a depressing meditation on death. You know, like this movie so much is, like I said, it's the train crashing in the station for the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes or whatever this movie is. It's just you know what's gonna happen. Like, and it's just, how do we get there, and how does it happen? And like you said, it's incredible that there's no resolution.
Mm-hmm. You don't know what happens to any of the other mutants, to any of the kids. You
Yeah.
don't know if the company is going to get backed up on its gene therapy BS. You don't know if they're ever
Right.
going to resolve that particular issue. Nothing.
Yeah.
None, because none of it matters.
Yeah.
Like,
Logan's story is over.
yeah.
Yeah. It's incredibly good. And it's one of those movies, we talk about this every once in a while. It's one of those movies where you hear nothing but good things about the movie for so long. It's been now 7 years. Everybody's saying like, "Oh, it's one of the best movies. It's the best superhero movie. It's this, that, and the other thing," and it actually lives up to that. You know, we don't always get movies like that in this show, but
Yep.
it lives up to the whole thing. Like, it's incredible. I don't know what else to say about it.
If you get the 4K Blu-ray edition, there's a black and white version on it.
I
Just so
know.
you know.
I'm probably gonna buy that. I like the idea of seeing it in that. Plus, this movie probably looks really good in 4K.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
My question to you is,
Uh-huh.
are you happy / sad to have watched it?
Yeah, I'm happy that I watched it because it is as incredible as everyone has said it is.
Mhm.
But like, there's not going to be another one of these. So like, it's interesting. But I am 99% sure, like we talked about, you have to have watched this movie, not in the like I need to do my homework way, but in the we're going to reference the hell out of Logan dying in the movie where he comes back to life. So I probably should have watched it beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what the trailer music for this was, by the way?
For Logan?
Yes.
No.
Johnny Cash's Heart.
There you go. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Sheesh.
If you want a vibe check, there's your vibe check right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Let's do ratings here real quick. IMDb has this an 8.1 out of 10 with almost 900,000 ratings. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 93% tomato meter, 91% audience score, and Letterboxd has this at a 4.1 out of 5.
This is a 4.5 or a 5. Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
I think on the like 1 to 10, 1 to 5 scale, to me it's the maximum of like
It's a 0.5 down or a maximum. Like,
yeah,
that's
you
it.
need to it gets my highest recommendation. You need to see this movie.
Especially if you have a connection with any of the X-Men franchise.
Right. Which, if you're listening to the show, you probably do.
You probably do.
Yeah, you've probably already seen Logan.
I mean, it's also probably not mentioned enough that like he jumped over to the First Class timeline too.
True. Yep.
Because the second to last one was Days of Future Past.
Right. Yeah, it got all
Or their last one. Maybe it was their last one.
weird timey there for a little while.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
That's right. Yeah. Man, Logan. Whew. All right. Next episode, we're going to actually get to Deadpool and Wolverine. So
Yes.
hopefully you will join us there. Go ahead.
You want to know a really great quote from this movie?
Sure.
Nature made me a freak, man made me a weapon, and God made it last too long.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some good bangers in there, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
man. All right, we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.